The Dazzling Dream event is starting around the world in Pokemon Go. And as always, I want to run through all the tips and tricks you need to know for this event, so let's just get into it. Okay, so this event is going down January 13th at 10 a.m. to January 16th at 8 p.m., so only 4 days. During the event, you'll have the bonus of 2 times Catch Stardust and 2 times Hatch Stardust. You also see the wild spawns of Clefairy, Jigglypuff, Marill, Snubbull, Cottony, Red, Blue, and Yellow Flower Flabebe, all in their respective regions, Spritzee, Swirlix, Dedenne, Cutiefly, and Morelull. You also see exclusive rare spawns of Togetic, White Flower Flabebe, and Orange Flower Flabebe worldwide. Do note, Cutiefly and Ribombee are the new shinies during this event. We'll have exclusive 7-kilometer eggs hatching Togepi, Spritzee, Swirlix, and Cutiefly, in which Cutiefly will have a higher shiny rate from the eggs. We'll also have some exclusive field research tasks with the task Catch 5 Pokemon for 5 Revives, 500 Stardust, Evolve a Fairy-type Pokemon for 20 Mega Altaria or Mega Gardevoir energy, Evolve 3 Fairy-type Pokemon for a Carbink encounter, hatch an egg for a Alolan Vulpix encounter, hatch 2 eggs for a Mawile encounter, power Pokemon 10 times for a Spritzee, Swirlix, or Cutiefly encounter. There'll also be a catch collection challenge where you need to catch and evolve a couple different Pokemon, getting you 1,000 Stardust, 2,000 XP, and a Carbink encounter, as well as a collection hatch challenge, which is the first time we've seen this, but it will require you to hatch each one of the 7-kilometer egg Pokemon, getting you 10,000 Stardust, 30,000 XP, and a Carbink encounter. Finally, there'll be a $2 time booster store you can go ahead and buy, which will give you 2 pages of research, getting you some nice items and things like that. Definitely worth the $2 for the items you do get, but it's all up to you if you're going to actually complete this or not. With the event details out of the way, let's get right into the tips, starting with what are the best wild spawns to go after and catch during this event. Starting with Clefairy, which evolves into Clefable, which does have some play in both the Great League and the Ultra League, a Pokemon that has been doing very well in the Play Pokemon regional tournaments. Jigglypuff is in there, which evolves into Wigglytuff, which is one of the best Fairy-type Pokemon in the Great League right now. Marill's in there, which evolves into Azumarill, a good Pokemon, of course, for the Great League. Snubble's in there, which evolves into Granbull, which is a good Fairy-type raid attacker. Cottony's in there, which is good in the Little Cup, and you can also evolve into Whimsicott, which is good in some special Great League Cups. The Flabebes are in there, which evolves into Florges. Florges does see play in the Master League and the Master Premier formats. Spritzee's in there, which is good in the Little Cup, and you can evolve into Aromatisse, which is good in some special Great League Cups. Swirlix is in there, which evolves into Slurpuff, which is good in some special Great League and Ultra League Cups. Dedenne's in there, which is good in some special Great League Cups, and Morelull's in there, which gets you 500 Stardust normally per catch. Obviously, during this event, that's 1,000 Stardust, so definitely catch those Morelulls during this event. Finally, Togetic is in there, which evolves into Togekiss, a good Fairy-type raid attacker and good in the Master League. You'll notice a lot of these Fairy Pokemon are just good for some limited cups, which when those do come around, like the Love Cup, for example, you want to have them on standby. Nonetheless, that moves us into the 7-kilometer eggs. And I'm just going to say this, that these events are getting so repetitive. Every event, a new shiny comes out, it's in the wild, and then it's a higher shiny rate in the eggs. And 7-kilometer eggs always at that. Nonetheless, I do not recommend hatching these 7-kilometer eggs because all of these Pokemon hatching are available in the wild. So do not go after the 7Ks. It is not a good idea at all. You're just better spending more time on finding them in the wild. And if people are going to argue that the shiny rate is higher in eggs, the odds of hatching 64 Cutieflies is probably lower than the odds of finding 500 Cutieflies in the wild, just because of how egg hatches work. Nonetheless, one good thing about this event is 2 times Catch Stardust, which means every time you catch a Pokemon on a star piece, that's 300. This is great for anyone who just wants to get a bunch of Stardust. These are the best types of events to grind when you're low on Stardust because you're just naturally getting more. Also, those Morelulls do get you 1,000 Stardust per catch, 1,500 on a star piece because they are a boosted Stardust Pokemon. So those are great to catch. And on top of that, if you do have some stacked tasks of things like Delibird or Shelter from the holiday event, those get you boosted Stardust as well, which you can catch during this event on a star piece to get even more Stardust. If you want to learn about stacked tasks and how to stack Stardust boosted Pokemon, check out my video up here. But Stardust is not all you need in Pokemon Go. You also need candy. So what are the best ways to grind a lot of candy during this event? Number 1, use Pinap Berries. Regular Pinap Berries will multiply catch candy by 2 and Silvers by 2.34. Next up, you can Mega Evolve a Pokemon. If you don't know when you Mega Evolve a Pokemon, any Pokemon you catch that shares a type with that Mega, you'll get more candy, XL candy, and XP for catching Pokemon of that type. Obviously, this event is a Fairy type event with all the spawns, I believe, being Fairy types. So a Fairy type Mega is going to be the best. And those would include Mega Gardevoir, Mega Altaria, or Mega Diancie. Mega Evolve one of those 3, have those Mega Evolved during this event so you can make sure you're getting the most amount of candy. You can also trade away Pokemon. It's the season of timeless travels, which means every time you trade away Pokemon, there's the bonus of 2 extra regular candies and 1 guaranteed XL candy. So if I trade away a Marill, for example, I'm guaranteed 3 Marill candies and 1 XL. Catch a bunch of Pokemon, trade them away to a trade buddy if you have them to grind a lot of candies, and you can even potentially get some Luckies and some good IVs. Finally, you can transfer Pokemon, and specifically Ralt's Spotlight Hour is going going to be January 16th from 6 to 7 p.m. So right near the end of this event, actually, right at the end of this event, with the bonus of 2 times transfer candy. Transfer your Pokemon then to get a bunch of extra candy. You might as well, you just changing the time when you're transferring Pokemon. What you can even do is go ahead and, collect a bunch of Pokemon you want to transfer, tag them, make a tag transfer, and then when the event comes, you can just transfer those instead of having to waste World Spotlight Hour, spending all the time to figure out what you want to transfer. Finally, that brings us into our last section of the video, Platinum Medal tips. You need 35 Platinum Medals to go from level 48 to 49 in Pokemon Go. Which ones should be working on during this event? Starting off with the Fairy Tail Girl Medal, catch 2,500 Fairy type Pokemon. If you haven't completed the Platinum Medal of this, do it. This is actually one of the harder ones to do, this along with the Dragon Medal. So this is a great event for people who haven't finished it. And really, that's the only medal you can be working on during this event. Other than that, it's pretty bland. Maybe you could work on the Egg Hatcher Medal, but not that worth it. Guys, I am going to be streaming this event January 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. So if you do want to see how this event is and if it's worth playing, definitely tune into that. I'll link it below. But nonetheless, that is my tips for this event. Let me know what you think of it, and good luck, I guess. All for tips. Peace.